All right, humor me for a second. You wake up bright and early. It's your day off. Wife and kids up, y'all making breakfast. Beautiful sunny day outside. Absolutely gorgeous. You guys eat breakfast. You're about to go outside and play catch with your boy. And then all of a sudden, there's an emergency alert on your phone. Nuclear threat imminent. Troops in the sky. What are you grabbing and what is your plan? Now, if you didn't actually visualize yourself, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to really think about it. Not some fantasy LARP, not some bullshit. Like, try to convince yourself that this is real as best that you can. With what you have in your possession right now, would you feel comfortable in that scenario? Would you feel prepared in that scenario? I would argue, even for me, the answer is no. Whether that be food preps, ammo, your weapon system's not ready yet, whatever, it's something to think about. And the fact is, we don't get to choose exactly when or if that's even going to happen. So we need to really think about this. This is something that I see a lot in, I guess I'll call it the gun tube space or the LARP sphere, but it's like people don't even take this seriously anymore. We're all making videos and stuff for entertainment, and that's kind of what it's turned into. But it actually started off as, hey, I'm trying to help you. This is what I do to prep. This is how I train to gunfight, and, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like now we're just chasing parts and we're trying to optimize so much, when in reality we're missing key components as to survival. And not only survival, but we're trying to optimize stuff that we're not even going to use if it really happened. So this is a real world example, no hyperbole. A little while ago, we had an active shooter in my area. He ambushed a highway. He shot up like over 20 cars. It was absolutely ridiculous. He dumped like 900 to 1200 rounds of 5.56 into like over 20 cars on the side of a highway. He was hiding in the woods. That was like literally on top of my house, pretty much. Like, the threat was imminent. A couple ridge lines over from my house, this guy shot up these cars. So what I found myself grabbing at the time was not what I was prepping with. It wasn't the whole doctrine I had in my head. I ended up grabbing a 10.5 AR and putting on body armor and getting in my car and going and looking for this guy. Now, was that legally the right thing? I don't give a shit, because, morals triumph the legal framework in my eyes. I'm not out here breaking laws or nothing. I don't think anybody should break laws that are publicly agreed upon in, Congress and all that. But what I'm saying is, there comes a time when you need to be a man and step up. And in that case, there's a dude shooting up cars. It's my duty to go protect the citizens of my town. You know what I'm saying? So, well, no matter how you feel about that, that was a real situation. And what I ended up grabbing was literally my 10.5 with my red dot, backup irons, and plates. And then I got in the car and I went. That's the thing, guys. What are you actually going to grab? And until you're in a situation like that, or until you're like actually able to critically think, it's all, I don't want to say just a LARP, because that's not even the right word. I'm having a hard time expressing what I'm trying to say here, and I apologize for that. You don't really know what you're going to grab unless you can visualize that and really understand that, I feel like. Especially if you got multiple AR builds, or especially if you're like me and you try to optimize every single thing. At the end of the day, you're just going back to the basics, red dot and iron sights. Now, obviously, mission dictates gear. That's number one. Every situation is different. I don't really run body armor at all. or that much at least. I don't really train with it that much, and that's solely because, I'm more of a recondo guy. That's how I train for, foreign invasion, stuff like that, Russian invasion, whatever it is, some kind of invasion. I'm a recondo guy, a sniper guy. I'm not effectively, I'm not trying to be like an infantryman. That's a good way to get yourself killed. I'm just trying to get recon on the enemy and report back to headquarters, essentially. I don't want to get seen. I don't want to get in a firefight. And if I do, it's to break contact and get the hell out of there. Or it's going to be hit and run tactics as a guerrilla fighter, because that's literally what you have to do to survive. Otherwise, you will get J-damned real quick. We gotta think about that. But when I close my eyes and I try to visualize this, you're there, you're eating breakfast with your wife and kids, and, you just get done eating, and then get that ding on your phone, that emergency alert, or, you hear a big bomb go off in the distance. Oh, wow, they just blew up New York or something. I mean, something crazy. It's like, what would you actually do, and what is imagination? When you start imagining this, and you visualize this, I don't want the psychological phenomenon of you being Rambo and out there with some unrealistic shit, just mowing a whole platoon down by yourself. I mean, really put yourself in that situation. Take all the fantasy out of it. You're one man, right? Or a team, whatever. What is your plan, and what are you actually going to do? Not what you want to do, not what you're not capable of, because the simple fact is some people aren't capable of being out in the field and doing recon or trying to be that Cav Scout gooner, you know what I'm saying? Some people, they're just not capable of that. So it's like, when you build your kit, when you come up with these concepts, because the simple fact is, before you purchase anything, whether it be a prism optic, LPVO, a rifle, any kind of kit, you have to have a reason for it. There has to be a need for that in your arsenal and in your gear. There has to be a reason or a hypothesis as to why you want to use it and why it makes sense. But before you click that purchase, especially if you're out here buying really expensive stuff, are you actually going to use that shit if something happened? Or is this just you, trying to fulfill your dopamine of the day and order something? And I think even myself, even knowing this and being consciously aware that I do this, I still, I have a downfall where I will do that. Instead of buying more ammo or something, I will straight up buy a new firearm part, even though I have a box of parts I don't even use. And I can't even get rid of because I spray painted camoed them all, and nobody wants to buy spray painted gear anymore, seems like. So it's like, knowing that, I will still try to justify it, and I have to stop myself and be like, no, you're not even going to use that if something really happened. So this is my kind of wake-up call to you, and also kind of my philosophy about it. If something crazy went down, whether it be a nuke, foreign invasion, whatever, what would you actually do versus what you're going to do naturally, rooting for yourself in your head? Because newsflash, a singular bullet can kill you just as dead as anybody else on this planet. You're not special. You're not the Dragon Warrior, you know what I'm saying? You're not that guy. No matter how much you train. I used to be so up my own butt, bro. I was like, I am that guy, because all I did was train and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not that guy. I can humble myself now and say I am not that guy anymore. I'm not that guy. So it's like, just really sit here and think about it. I understand. I've read that some people can't actually visualize stuff, which is wild to me. But just try your best. Sit here, make a chart, do a comparison, pros and cons, or, something like that. And be like, well, this gear, actually, I would grab that, but this one weighs too much. Maybe I could adjust this. And if you're not out and training with your kit in the first place, like you're not out in the National Forest or wherever you're at, WMA, stuff like that. I did a whole video on how to find land to train on. But if you're not actually out there moving in your kit and doing FTXs or whatever you plan on doing, if you're not actually doing the stuff that you plan on doing, or at least emulating that to the best of your extent, then there's really no point, because you have no reps in. That's like trying to deadlift 600 pounds your first time ever deadlifting, it's more than likely not going to happen. I mean, that's a really good deadlift. You're not just going to walk in the gym with no reps in and do that. So it's just something to think about, guys. Yep. Anyways, God bless y'all. Peace out. Have a good day.